Hello everyone, we are live. Today is November 30th, 2022. We are back to our normal ourselves in our studio, Natural Pigments. My name is Tatiana Zaitseva, and behind the camera is George O'Hanlon, who, like always, supports me and helps me if I will forget something. So I promise you to talk about light fastness test, and I know some of you already expecting this. So I need to be fair, and so all our results are basically ready. They need to be read because we made all tests, but George needs to put them together, and of course we will first represent to our cohorts on our cohorts meetings what will be on December 3rd. And so to people who really supports us and cares about us, and so then we owe them this information first, and then we will put all that together and put this for public. Today we will talk about cadmiums, specifically about natural pigments, Rublev colors, cadmiums, and so two colors are new, and so this position, you probably, if you already follow us for some time, so you know then we have natural pigments has this position, so then nothing could be non-dangerous. Anything could be harmless. Done harmful. So yeah, see, I need your help. So, and if you are convinced then cadmiums are not your colors and you have substitution, so then this would be just entertainment for you today. But for people who really cares about these pigments, because it's quite good pigments, they are light fastness. They show in already more than 100 years the stability, and we truly believe in these colors, and so. We definitely will show today you all positives, and we will talk about negatives if you have questions. So the video today will be approximately 17-18 minutes, and so please ask the questions immediately, and George and I will answer. But for now, let's start. So in range of Rublev colors, we have 7 cadmiums now. So the cadmium deep and cadmium yellow deep is new for us, and cadmium maroon will be new. This is very exciting, and of course, if you ever listen me on any media in any classes or any videos, so 5 years ago I was swearing that we never will touch the cadmiums because everybody else doing such a great job, all other companies. But of course artist started call George and beg him to make cadmiums how we make, so that means without any additives. So you will have some separation once in a while, although looks like we did quite good job on this right now. So the first row, what you saw, we are mixing lead white and on yellows, and I was trying to do 50-50. And but even titanium, you saw on the second row, almost didn't do any dent on the chroma. So here I will be trying to do little bit difference. So where I put a lot of titanium and just small amount of the cadmiums, and at least you can see the color.
So the cadmiums are very opaque pigments.
Very powerful, especially yellows. Actually, you will see that a little bit later in reds. It will not be the same case, but yellows are just dangerously powerful.
And here we're mixing with the barite. So you want to talk about what barite is for those who don't know?
Yes, barite is, although it's on our line of white colors, it's absolutely transparent color. And so it's barium sulfate, and so it's, again, a good pigment. But what I did notice, which it surprised me, but George said then, so he will probably do the spectrophotometer on that one. And I will show you a little bit later after video how it's, in my mind, it changed a little bit of the color. So it's actually cooled down. Barite did cool down the cadmium's yellow, which didn't seem to the same case with reds or orange one. So here, since I was surprised to see with barite, so then we decided to do, let's do this with Velasquez medium, because essentially it's kind of the same, except the pigment here would be chalk instead of barium sulfate. And that was absolutely transparent, beautiful, color. And it's actually boost the color, what I think. So, and again, I will show you later. So, of course, here's, we were trying to mix that with our ultramarine. In this case, I took ultramarine green shade. So, and was trying to see what can be done, what greens can be done with these colors.
It's really surprising because the ultramarine is very transparent, but
yep.
But it puts a real big dent into the yellows, especially the yellow light, which tends to be a little bit more transparent than the other two yellows.
I would say then it's a little bit like kind of like muddy colors here, which again it was interesting.
That's probably because
very polished,
because the very reddish ultramarine,
yes,
which is very different from cobalt.
Yeah. So here would be cobalt, and again we will try to do several greens. I would think that here's greens a little bit were a little bit cleaner.
So these cadmium yellows are cadmium zinc sulfides. So there's a question from Sanjita. Says, is cadmium yellow light greenish, like a cadmium yellow?
Yes. So, yeah. And unfortunately, it's good.
So the names
good question. Yes.
are
Unfortunately, in industry, there are no standards.
In terms of the names.
Names, yeah. Yes. And so we choose every company choose different, although it's the same cadmiums, it's PY35 in order on yellow cadmiums, but we all call that different. Some call cadmium lemon, although
cadmium pale.
Pale, yeah.
So the name doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So that's why we have this program. So then at least you can see in same bunch how they act together. And so I do know, so we had customer, she bought our cadmium yellow light, and she was absolutely disgusted and upset, saying then, oh, that's not lemon. how she accustomed from another company. And I was like, so why do, you know, why to be upset? We can't match other companies. We don't have that, not ability. We don't even want to do this. We want to be different. Although, of course, it would be good if we would have some kind of standard.
Well, there is the color index.
Yeah, but again,
so the range of cadmium pigments available to artist material companies are actually far larger than what you see in most lines of paint. And that has to do with the fact that these pigment companies make a very big range from very pale yellows to very dark orange yellows, actually oranges. And then from the reds, very orangey reds to very dark. It's like what we see here.
Yeah. So see, all these three cadmiums right now, cadmium reds and maroon, they have all the same number, 108.
Yeah. Joyce asks, what red is most vivid?
Oh, you know, probably
they're all good.
They're all good, but probably now working with them, probably the medium one is good one. Of course, it's like, although we're talking about if you want substitution for, let's say, for vermilion, so we put as a cadmium yellow light, and you will see here a little bit later. So then it's basically impossible to recreate the vermilion color. Yeah. And so you see here a little bit different than with yellows. So you definitely can see mixed with titanium. So you see then it's tinting, where in yellows was not even the case. But I still wanted to show you a little bit more. So then in this case, I will put a little bit more of titanium. And then, yes, to see the pinks. Beautiful ones, beautiful. Just absolutely, just, it's good exercise for us too, every time to do that.
And Julia, who's asked a question, we're going to get to your question a little bit after this.
Uh-huh.
She's in Sweden. She's asking a question about our collection of yellows in Europe.
Oh, yes. Okay. So maroon color, like I said already, it's new color for us. We just introduced that last week. And just for that reason, we have on our website special deal. And please look on bundles. It's on the middle bar. You will see now it's new feature for us. We never had this before, but now if you buy the bundle, so then you can save money. So
look how the barite, I think it actually helps the intensity of the color.
Exactly. That's what I just wanted to say. So on both colors, although of course on barite, like I will show you a little bit later how it was cooled down, but on reds, it just made them literally vivid colors. And again, it's so powerful. You see how much barite I'm putting, and it's still not changing much color.
Yeah, so it does increase the opacity, the transparency, but it doesn't affect the color much.
Yeah.
This is interesting, Blue Ridge.
I know a lot of people mixing that and trying to pretend as what's it, burnt siennas or siennas?
Yeah, burnt siennas siennas in general are far more transparent than what you would achieve with these two colors. And it's less expensive.
Yeah.
which is a key factor. Yeah, there's the yellow ochre tends to make a little more subdued orange in this particular series. Here we go with cadmium yellow light.
Yeah.
And the reds. So since we can put on a question here from Alan because it's pertinent to, could you mix a skin tone?
Can you put down so then people can see what's happening? Yep. Okay, great.
Can you mix a skin tone of red light, yellow light, a bit of ultramarine and lead white? Yeah, that's actually how some artists do that. But in reality, it's much easier to do it with earth colors. And then use the cadmiums as key colors to pull up the intensity where you need that. But it's much easier to work with neutrals, which are earth colors, rather than doing mixtures like this because because flesh tones are very neutral. Here we go with
your ultramarine. Yeah. Although I didn't mix ultramarine and yellow and red. But Alan, you probably can, you will figure out, because here I was looking what can be done, what purples, I guess. But you definitely can mix the skin tone for sure.
Another question, do you sell a fire engine red type of color?
Fire, that would be cadmium.
The medium.
Yeah, probably.
It's a medium.
Or mixed together with light.
And then maybe a little bit of the maroon just to darken it.
Which again, so like I said, if you, okay, here. Right now on our website, so we have a bundle. It's only for 1 week. We will have that promotion for all colors. So if you buy some amount of colors, so then you can save up to 30%. But if you buy like, what's the deal we have? If you buy 2, you have 10%. If you buy 3, 20,
15,
and so 15, something.
Yeah, I forget now, but you can check on the bundles page, which is on the top navigation bar.
So since I was doing orange separately from, because it's definitely not among the yellows and not even close to reds. So I thought, how about I will compare that one for you with molybdate, orange molybdate. And you see, it's a little bit reddish, molybdate on right side, but you will see even more right now. It's absolutely stunning pink on orange molybdate. So orange molybdate is PR104, and it's lead chrome molybdate, and so it's a lead color. And like I said, if you scared dangerous colors, this is one of them. But we do believe, so you as intelligent people, as a people of 21st century, you can read and protect yourself from actually everything what's George every time saying, then under your sink, probably more crazy chemicals than even in your palette. Here I actually mix orange, cadmium orange and cadmium red light together. So just to see if I can achieve that pink, and you can see that. But orange molybdate is much cheaper than cadmium. So then now we, introduce you new color. If you never tried, this is one to try for sure. Beautiful, beautiful one, and behaves well, and yeah.
It is a lead
And we are,
color.
yeah,
It is a
lead color. Yes, that's what
Orange
I said.
molybdate.
Yeah. And you see, I'm using gloves.
Which we always recommend,
Yes.
regardless of the color. Got lots of questions, which we'll get
absolutely.
to right after
Absolutely, absolutely. We knew then we will have a lot of questions about cadmiums, and so if
questions about toxicity
yes.
and permanence.
Absolutely. So about permanence, we can talk right now.
Yes.
So
let me go through this.
Okay.
And let me get to this.
Look at the beautiful violet.
So first of all, let's add this one. There we go.
Oh, we finished?
Yep, that's finished.
Okay.
So Amaresh asks that the cadmium yellows contain zincs. They're cadmium zinc sulfide. So again, anytime we hear the word zinc, everybody starts becoming afraid. That's really not this, should never be that situation.
Remember, it's zinc oxide
is the problem in oil. And again, I need to emphasize only in oil. So, and since it's a zinc sulfide is apparently safe in oil. There's actually a white that is a zinc sulfide. So this happens to be a yellows cadmium zinc sulfide is perfectly compatible with oil. Doesn't cause the embrittlement that zinc oxide does. So no problem there. So don't have to worry about that.
And of course, a lot of information, wrong information, is coming from old books where the cadmiums are changing, they're darkening, or they're. So these days, they are completely different because they are changed chemically. So George, if you will talk a little bit about the clarification about how they're processed right now and why they call CPF. Yeah. He's not listening. He's paying attention something else. Can you please answer about how cadmiums are now different?
So the main issue with cadmiums is what we're seeing is that in the last century there was different ways of making cadmiums, and so this what this did, of course, was made various crystalline forms of the pigment particles, and apparently some of these forms, which were non-hexagonal, were more susceptible to the environment. So as a result, there is noticed that cadmium pigments manufactured in the 19th century and perhaps in the very early 20th century had increased solubility, also free sulfur or unreacted sulfur, and perhaps unreacted cadmiums. And so they were much more reactive and apparently darkened, or in some cases faded. And especially this was true of the cadmium yellows. And that's mainly because the cadmium reds didn't suffer from this because they were calcined. And it means they were put into a furnace and heated to a high temperature. So they're doing that today with the cadmium yellows. They're calcined, which also reduces the solubility. So that's the key idea behind that. That goes along with this particular question here. Are cadmium colors compatible with red leads, lead chromes, lead tins, naples, etc.? And that's because leads can be sensitive to sulfides. Well, that's true. Lead white is sensitive to sulfides. Some of the other leads you mentioned are sensitive to sulfides. And of course, once lead combines with a sulfide, it turns black. But this, again, this was an issue more in the 19th century, perhaps in the early 20th century, not so much an issue today.
Or if you buy in cadmium, if it's real cadmium and it's very cheap, you need to think about that.
Yeah. So again, all of the cadmiums today are that are used by American companies or in the Western Hemisphere or in Europe are using cadmiums from the same pigment company because or companies, there's several of them, and all of them are manufactured in England at this particular time. So they make very good cadmiums, very low solubility as a result of that.
Should we, instead of people watching me, so should we just at least to put that
you want to look at the
yes.
colors? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, while
you can explain some
of
that.
Yes, and while you answering the question, if we do have questions, so I just wanted to show you so how cadmiums this look like here. So this is just switching. This is full color, and this is with titanium. So then you can see on the right side is with titanium, and I wanted to show you the same. I'm talking obviously about yellow cadmiums, and so here's with Velasquez, and you see it's still powerful. And I did this more than 50%. I probably maybe here's like 1/3 of the cadmium and 2/3 of the Velasquez medium. But look here. And although on camera I see it's kind of looking dirty, but it's not in reality. But in reality, it's very cool. Here's the full strength. So this is, and here mixed with barite, and you see how it shifted the color.
So the one on the left, far left,
yes,
is the yellow light.
Yellow light with barite. Yes,
and
this
then
is
this full strength.
Then this is the medium with the barite, and really it's yeah, and I know on camera it's not the best, but so here's of course with ultramarine. And by the way, I did this 3 days ago, and it's already dried,
which is unusual.
Very unusual. And again, I wanted to see how fast it's dry, and you see how thin it is, and so of course here's thick, and here's with cobalt. Oh, actually, that is dried too.
Not surprising with the cobalt, actually.
Which is, it's quite thick, but...
Yeah.
Okay. And so here reds with lead white. And you can see how vivid colors are. Somebody was asking about, and so, yeah, it's something in between two. Cadmium yellow light and medium are definitely very vivid colors,
and they warm up a little bit with the lead white as opposed to
okay,
so titanium with very titanium. Slow dryer.
Yeah. And it's very thin, but still I need
yeah, and you can see quite a bit cooler with the titanium.
Let me see with
so it's very important to
with
kind
lead,
of figure out the white.
With lead, here's dried, and so again it's 3 days ago, but some cadmiums did, some didn't dry. So here's with barite, and I just wanted to show you. So this is full strength from the tube, And here's with barite, and again, it's 2/3 of barite and one of the color, 1/3 of the color. And you see, it's still very powerful. Here's full, but if I would show you how, again, it's really, really pushing color, like brightening. Interesting. Of course, here's our burnt siennas. So, again,
Not really.
No,
It's
no, of course not.
the
That's
cadmium
that's
with
why
the
I
blue
showed
ridge
this.
yellow. Yeah.
So with Blue Ridge yellow ochre, and of course here's cadmiums with cadmium yellow light, and so different strengths. So then I just made it. What I will show you right now, this is beautiful cadmium orange and molybdate on right side. So this is different strengths. So here's not a full light, but 50-50 here, and here's even more. And you see how beautiful.
Titanium. Right?
With lead white.
Oh, lead white.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Titanium
Here's with lead.
and
Here's
then,
yes, because here's with titanium.
Because you wrote lead
Yeah.
white
Yes,
titanium on the
yeah, you're
card.
right. Absolutely. So
Okay.
I'm just misspoke.
So that's
Yes.
is that our mixed pigment, lead white titanium?
No. Here's what I'm saying. So here's with lead white,
okay.
and here's with titanium.
Okay.
Here's with lead white with titanium. I mess up everybody.
I'm just reading your notes.
I know. So,
And that's just
and here's
titanium.
just with
Yeah.
titanium.
Yeah.
Yes.
Different amounts.
Yeah.
On the left side, cadmium orange. On the two right ones is
Yeah.
the molybdate.
Yeah. And here's with barite, which again, the full strengths, they very, very identical. It's, I mean, it's a little bit on reddish side on, of course, on molybdate, but you can see like, wow, it's.
And again, barite is not a white pigment technically. It's an extender
Yes.
pigment. And,
Yes.
But we sell it, as a white pigment. I mean, it looks white, but
Yes.
but
Long
it's
time ago,
transparent.
when we didn't have any other whites but lead white, so we basically did this barite as something what you can tune down any colors, but same time didn't change. Do not
Transparentize
change.
it.
Yeah, do
That's
not
it.
change the chroma. So that's what happened. And so, but then since that, we introduced, of course, lithopon, then we introduced titanium, but then people were asking us to make titanium lead white. So we have all of these colors now. And
So let's go back to
Yeah.
the question.
Yes.
Julie asks about ordering some of the colors in Europe. And of course, Julie, you can order from the Europe store, which is naturalpigments.eu. We have all of the colors except maroon.
maroon. So we are sending today to Europe, and so therefore we will prolong that deal what we are having for
Europe.
for Europe especially, because we like always, we are a small company. We every time prepare, mostly of course for our customers, and then we was like, oh my God, we forget about Europe now. It's separate identity. So then, of course, we are sending. We will have all colors there.
Okay, so going back to here's an interesting question. All pigments that are based on minerals and some that are vegetative are toxic. Better just to treat all with care. I'm not sure that actually is not correct. Not all pigments are based on minerals. So as an example, pigments such as phthalocyanine blue and green, quinacridone, Hansa, dialuride, aluride, and so forth.
Basically, all synthetic modern colors.
Organic. They're
Yeah.
organic,
Yes.
and they're synthetic.
Yeah.
The mineral colors, what we call inorganic colors, are cadmiums, lead. Of course, all of the natural earth colors are based on minerals, and they are not considered toxic. Well, that is, the earth colors aren't considered toxic.
Earth colors.
Lead, of course, cadmiums are considered
I'm
toxic.
sure if
and
you
we'll
are
talk about
here,
some of that.
yes, I'm sure if you are here today, that means you read George's article. So
Or maybe they haven't. So there is a full article on the website which talks about cadmium colors. It all began with medicine, and it goes through the history of cadmium, the toxicity, the permanence, and so forth. Quite an extensive article on cadmiums.
But Alana, you're absolutely right. Every time on all our classes we are teaching, please, yes, treat all substances, all pigments, or all colors as
care,
dangerous, with care.
All materials that you're working with should be treated with care.
Remember, all of your paints are chemicals. You just don't see that like this, but you need to remember it's all chemicals, and so then you need to treat that with care, that's for sure.
Here's another question. What creates transparency in mediums or paint? Is it particle size?
It's all together. It's the particle size, and it's the pigments itself. So because the
refractive
index. And so if you don't know what's refractive index, so you can Google that, or you can go to Painting Best Practices and .com and register there. And by the way, we slowly trying to move everything to Painting Best Practices forum there. So, and please register. And so, very often we have very important subjects where we are discussing this every last Saturday of the month on cohorts meetings. And if you are really desperate to know something very important for you, so then you can ask permission to be on cohorts meetings where George live answering all questions. And we are spending as much time as you need on that, on that days. So, but go ahead, register on paintingbestpractices.com. And so then you will have all latest news. Which medium are recommended?
For cadmiums.
Julia, of course, of course, my favorite, of course, it's always Velasquez medium. Because again, you could see then it's, I think, the safest, what we are every time saying. So the Impasta medium and Velasquez medium are the safest mediums because they do have particles. They do have, it's not like oleo gel, just where the just really only oil. Although oleo gel is our bestseller, but Velasquez medium, it's fun because cadmiums are, they don't have exactly the most beautiful body to say about the colors, because we do have much more interesting colors, like the French colors we have. They are, they're all long and stringy, and they have all kind of characters, where the cadmiums do not, especially, because it's only pigment and the oil. So then Velasquez definitely will change the property of this colors. I think it's a good one to try. But overall, we're saying then, and you're probably right. So then, in this series, probably would be good to use the medium because of the power of these colors. They're very. What is it? Boost?
Well, they're very high tinting, high tinting strength colors, yeah. And of course, everybody thinks you can't get lead white in Europe.
You can.
You can.
We sell there, and I don't know. Looks like we are sending today, actually, next batch. But you can absolutely buy from us, naturalpigments.eu. And so the only thing you would need before we send it to you, so you would need to sign the document, then you absolutely understand what you are doing.
That's the website there. Thank you, Ree.
Thank you, Ree. And so, yeah, we sell all our colors there, including LEDs.
So let's go back to everybody. Of course, we
Thank you,
answered
Europe. Looks like you're watching us.
Yeah.
That's good.
So Neil, of course, asked about, and we've answered this a little bit at the beginning, but it's bear repeating information about the toxicity of cadmium. So
you know, like always, I did homework. So I watched several videos from another individuals and companies who are saying that the toxicity overblown, it's not that dangerous. And so we will not tell you that. Like I said, so everything can be dangerous. And but cadmium's one of these colors where you can protect yourself, and so cadmium's dangerous when you breathe. So if you breathe the powder, if you breathe the pigments, so then that would be the danger. But once it's enveloped in oil, so it's not as, but I still would suggest for you to wear the gloves. So George obviously wants to add something. So if you do work with pigments, which we do sell, and since we do work with iconographers and people who paint egg tempera, so please be sure then you don't have a dust from cadmium. Other than that, again, you need to remember everything what you read as a danger, you need to see what the pass through. So like, for example, titanium here in California is Prop 65, but it's in food, it's in our plastics, in everywhere. It's everywhere. But the way how, like for example, titanium is dangerous when you breathe the powder. Same with cadmiums, and so it's in the body. It's not soluble.
So let's clarify that
Yes.
just for a moment. So again, there's two factors here. Tests, animal tests specifically, have shown that inhalation of the cadmium dust will, or cadmium sulfide inhalation will cause cancer. That's in animal tests. Hence, it's been classified as a carcinogen 1B, which means that in animals, it causes cancer. It is not known at this time whether it causes cancer in humans, but we can presume it does by inhalation. That's an important point. So the other factor is where cadmiums are problems if they become soluble and they are ingested or enter the human system, the digestive tract or some other form. So in that case, then yes, it is toxic. However, the cadmium pigments have very low solubility. And again, some may argue that the tests for solubility don't take into account all factors in the human digestive system, and that is true. So again, just be careful using the color and just protect yourself from ingesting it. So that's the key thing.
By the way, it was discovery for me. George yesterday shared with me. So then the most where cadmiums are used, not in your colors, not even in colors in the industry, it's actually on jewelry, which again, read that article. And so every company what using for paint making, what did you say? It's like around 3% from whole.
So the current figure, according to 2019 and according to the International Cadmium Organization, says that only 3% of all cadmium goes into pigment. A whopping 57% is used in jewelry. So that's a far greater concern. And the jewelry we're talking about is usually fantasy jewelry, jewelry sold to children. And of course, this has been largely banned in many countries, but still continues to be manufactured. And so there's plenty of places to get cadmium and not from paint, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go on here to another comment. Would you say that cadmium can replace magenta on the palette as a mixing red?
No, because it's too powerful, and once you tune down, it's
very opaque too.
Yeah.
So it's not really a good primary color in that. We will be publishing the Munsell notation for those colors later.
Shortly, yes.
Yeah.
And so
probably in the next week or so. Yeah.
And again, what I understand, magenta is organic pigment. And is that
well, magenta is just a color.
Yeah,
it's not
it's
really
like usually like
pigment.
What people say that it's usually it's organic pigment.
Yeah, they're usually using organic
Which,
pigments.
Again,
like a quinacridone magenta.
Yes, which again, so if you will ask me, of course I will say like it's good because the whole industry is moving opposite from inorganic or heavy metals and to organic pigments. And if you are a serious artist, you absolutely know that there is no way you can have substitution for cadmium. So, then like nowadays we even have this cadmium-free cadmium, which is oxymorons. But it's like, even if you will make a mass tone looking like a cadmium, it no way will in the tints will act the same. So then if you want to exchange the magenta, which is good. No, I'm joking. So it's, but no, they definitely not even close.
Edwin asks, what cadmium color would you use instead of vermilion?
Again, we were selling the most like we have Zorn palette, which by the way, we have special deal just for the holidays again. So if you will buy our new Zorn palette, so we will include Oleo Gel and Velasquez for you free, and we are actually dressing up in the beautiful red holiday box. So, but anyway, we are including their cadmium yellow light, and now I need to rethink about, and so it could be cadmium yellow, cadmium red medium. So both of them, maybe like if you put them together, would be somewhere, but nothing can substitute of vermilion, nothing.
Going on to another question. Can you add barite to titanium to make it more transparent?
Absolutely. This is a great way to do it. So barite is, like we already mentioned, a little bit cooler side. So then it will work beautifully with titanium. And in fact, we are only crazy ones in our company when you buy titanium, and you probably will be like, thinking like, what's this behavior? Because we don't add anything. We don't put any fillers to titanium. It's very crazy powerful. But all other companies, to make that a little bit more manageable, which is actually not bad idea. So they all added in or chalk or barite or something. So
usually
that's already
it's
barite because it is very transparent, and it does work very well with titanium. So yes, absolutely.
Actually what some companies call their flake white replacement, because they're just taking titanium, they're adding
a little bit of yellow and
a little bit of a yellow ochre and the barite, but of course it's nothing like
I think on one of the programs I actually was I was showing the substitution for the lead white, and it's not even close working. But again, it's very good one to do that.
speaking about lead white.
Yes. We love to talk about lead white.
Let me see. I can't live without lead white. Number 2, is there a way we can learn about the upcoming shortage of lead white? So
Don't worry.
there isn't a shortage at this time.
It's not called shortage, but we did have
a shortage.
scary,
Yes.
yeah, we
But,
had
yeah.
scare time 1.5 years ago, because during the COVID, the production of lead white was completely stopped, and so then that was a crazy, scary moment for us. We are out of that situation. We do have plenty of lead white. Don't hoard. We do have people, when they see the new batches coming, and they are buying 30 tubes at a time of the 150 mil. Please don't do this. I mean, I would love to sell it, of course, but there is no shortage yet. And if something will happen, we definitely will let you know in advance. And so we making plenty of lead white number 2.
Stack process, when is it coming back?
Yes. So the pigment is ready. The problem happened during the last COVID time. And so, unfortunately, George doesn't allow anybody else touch. Before, we had one employee doing this, and so it's not happening anymore. And unfortunately, George doesn't have right now time because of the new website. And now we are coming out with from that. Although I can tell you this: we just catch new wave of the COVID on our company, and we have our shipping girl very sick, and so George and I were working on shipping now. Imagine that. So we're a small company. It's every time we are closing one hole, another hole is opening, and so it's ready. We do have pigment.
It's just not
process.
We're just having a process. We're going to try to do that.
And I'm afraid to, nope, don't promise.
I won't promise.
Because he always promises, and I'm answering afterwards. So no, we will not promise, but it's there. So it's not like we don't have it. And we will announce. We will make big announcement again. But you are absolutely, if you are absolutely crazy need, call me. We always have stash somewhere. So call us on, it's 888-361-5900 and ask for me.
That's in the U.S. and Canada.
Yes.
So Amaresh asks, how can he join the cohorts?
So Amaresh, you go into paintingbestpractices.com. And so as soon as you will be there, so please...
You have to register with the website.
Register first on the website, yes, because otherwise we are not taking people who don't know what they're doing. So because this will be special, it will be special society. We are building slowly on painting best practices, because we really want people like you who are really interested in what we are doing and what's happening in industry. So then, once you register, you just send us message, and we will approve you for the cohorts. And so then you definitely will see us on December 3rd. This will be this Saturday.
And Amaresh's second question, is it possible to ship to Sri Lanka?
We did send to Sri Lanka, and it's not as dangerous, not bad. So
just have to check with your local customs, because every country is a little bit different. But
it's like for longest time we were not sending to Mexico, but suddenly it was good. We were sending so many packages to Mexico, and then now Teresa Oaxaca has the class, and so of course all her students are buying our colors specifically for her class, and we have 3 packages stuck somewhere on the customs, and it's
unfortunately problems in customs.
Yeah, so you need to know about your country's customs.
So someone asks here, do cadmium paint fumes cause issues in relation to breathing it?
No,
No.
good. It's a good question. I actually was thinking to mention this. It's not about breathing the fumes. There are no fumes, except of course for just linseed oil. And cadmiums not smell much, as like if you will take like lead white, and so it does really smell. Although George is saying and it's like sweet smell, but for me it's vinegary. And it's actually very, very good smell. But again, not lead white, not cadmiums have
There are
any.
no fumes that are dangerous. Yeah. It's the inhalation.
It's the when
of
you
the cadmium
breathe the pigment
particle.
Yeah.
Okay, and then another question. Someone mentions inhalation can happen very easily with paint making. That's true.
Yes, that's true. That's why we always say then please wear mask if you don't have a special box. So you actually can buy. It's very inexpensive if you do want to make your own colors. So how's that called, George? It's that box, like you put two hands there, and
so you can use a glove box, or what we've recommended is basically it's a blast cabinet. You can buy a benchtop type, and so that you can
if you
use that instead.
If you want to make your colors, and so you do worry about the health problems, yes, absolutely. Other ways, just wear a mask, clean your surfaces after when you finish, and so then, and it's not as powdery like what you would think, like with any synthetic pigments, where they literally like in Prussian blue, you afraid even, or phthalo, phthalo green or blue. Whew, don't even try to breathe with that because it will be all over. Cadmiums are not, so they're sticking together, but still, please wear a mask.
Edwin, another lead white question, and this is in regards to the form that they need to fill in Europe. Edwin, that's for the entire European Union. So that form is required. It's a form that the Germans put out, but it is required for us to ship anywhere in the European Union. Not outside the European Union, but anywhere in the European Union. And all you have to do is fill in the form
to the best
of your ability.
Once you do this,
you do it one time.
Yeah, you do once, and so then afterwards, because it's keeps in files, and so then you are good to go for next for next orders.
Do we have a 2-tube limit for limited colors? There is on, I think, only. Which color did we have?
We had for stock.
Yeah.
We did allow only 2, and we didn't do this for our historical 5 colors, and did go very well. And like I said, like I mentioned last program, so we did sell very fast. We don't have any of them, which actually gave us idea. So then you are not opposed to use not only historical colors, but in jars. And it was beautifully packed. And so I think we have only left cinnabar, couple jars left, but other than that.
But we have them in tubes. So
now we have malachite and orpiment in tubes. So then at least then it's available for you. Not azurite. I will not be, I will not suggest to do azurite for George in the tube. It probably will be bad separation, but anyway, it's future thinking. But no, we don't have any limits for now, except stock.
Do you make barite with linseed oil?
No, we do with walnut oil.
And the reason is?
Just because yellowing.
Yeah.
It's yellow anyway, which you need to think about. It's very transparent color. It's color.
It's
very
an extender pigment. It's a transparent pigment.
When you think about, like we had this, people are freaking out. They're putting barite alone. just like to make the whole passage with barite. And then they calling us and say, oh, this is yellowing. Of course it's yellowing, because barite is completely transparent, what you looking through just to oil. And remember that, I know people don't want to hear that, but all oils yellow, all, including poppy seed, including walnut, everything is yellow. So that's why we're doing in walnut, at least it's a little bit lighter. But again, if you will just make the color itself, so it will be looking yellow.
Alizarin has a reputation for fading when mixed with chrome yellow. How about anthraquinone red when mixed with chrome colors? It's advertised as more permanent than alizarin.
Okay, so I know George will chip in, but I will start right now, because so alizarin, known for light fastness, light fastness number 2, and then watercolors number 3. So we know about alizarin that happening. So, but again, we will talk about light fastness, specifically alizarin, on next program, because like I mentioned on the beginning of the program, so we did make a tests with Prussian blue and alizarin crimson, our alizarin crimson and our Prussian blue, and our 5 or 6, I don't remember, whites. So actually alizarin is not performing as bad as we thought it will be. So go into quinacridone again, what's that, antacridone, yeah, so then like
anthraquinone, which, by the way, alizarin is an anthraquinone. The difference is that the modern synthetic pigment is a different form of that, and it has a better reputation for not fading. The key question here is, can you mix it with chrome? And the answer is, we don't really know at this point in time. The reputation that you're referring to is from old literature.
Because our chromes are now different.
Yeah,
and we are only company who are actually making chromes. Nobody else making chromes anymore, chrome yellows. And what, by the way, we have this scary moment, yes, where we don't know if we will have but we'll see how that, we will talk about that later. But anyway, so
the key thing to keep in mind is that a lot of this information is repeated from 19th century manuals, when that was observed casually, not scientifically. And so there is currently very little evidence that fading occurs. However, the fading actually, and the problem might have been more associated with the chrome yellow, which did fade due to the way it was made in the 19th century, not the way it's made in the 20th century. So that's one of the things that we're going to do tests on.
And remember, I told you, send us your favorite colors. Ask us what, because we are on the mood now to make this test. And so since first test went so great, we are so excited about this. So now we can actually really test any combinations. So I just wrote for myself, just as a reminder. So because obviously when we are in the lab, we are more concentrated on something what more like important for us as a company. But since we are doing this anyway, so we would be gladly doing this for you too. So just send us your ideas and we would do that.
Another question here. Will Orpiment tube come with a warning?
Yes, it is. And it's actually coming in the special tube. Yep. There's no way you will be opening that. It's if you bought from us stock lead, you remember how it was coming in the tube. So same exactly with Orpiment. Definitely all kind of labels where your children will not be able, hopefully will not be able to open, but
Just keep
your
away from
yes,
them. Please lock it up.
This is one of the.
It is a toxic.
Yes.
It's arsenic sulfide, folks. And we don't really want to sell it to everybody, just people that are interested in using that particular pigment. Do we plan to add copper panels to our store in the EU? We would love to. The cost of shipping is just prohibitive. We may try to work out something in the future, but it's just prohibitive shipping from the U.S. So we do have some people buying and having it shipped from the U.S., but
because it's one thing to send to Europe, but it's another thing to send from Germany to Europe, and it's all kind of required. Like
you mean from the U.S. to our German distribution site? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of minuses yet. So we're
trying to overcome that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you possibly send a link to a paint making box you recommend?
Yes.
That's actually the best thing to do is to go to a Harbor Freight store or to their website or on Amazon and just put in the words sandblasting cabinet.
Buy the small one. They really sell.
They have a benchtop models. And they usually cost like $100 to $120. So it's kind of a makeshift glove box, and that can be used. Finally, let me see. We have some last questions here. What do colors become less permanent? Where do they go? Sunlight. They don't really go anywhere. They still change.
Put there. Oh, Uncle 60. I didn't see you for a long time, so great.
Oh, he's asked a couple questions there.
Oh, you see. So glad to see you here. So one day I will know your real name. But anyway, they're not going anywhere. They just becoming less colorful, or like in some cases brown. From green to brown they go, or from, let's say, if like chromes were during the 19th century, where they were bright yellows, and then they become just like wool colors, like some kind of brownish, and that's what happened to Van Gogh's beautiful, what's that color called?
Sunflowers.
Sunflowers.
It's either cadmium yellow, or it was the cadmium yellow, or it was the chrome yellow.
Chrome yellows, yeah.
So both of those, again, in 19th century colors. They keep in mind that the two biggest things that affect colors is light, especially in the UV region, and also moisture or humidity. So, and that's only because it causes a chemical change, and the chemical change causes the color to change. So that's why we have
which we found fading. Again, we will talk about this next time when we will talk about light fastness. So then how varnishes help. This amazing. So then this is just like small tips for you for next time when you come here too. Okay, so do we have more questions?
Looks like that's it.
That's it. Great. So we're so happy to see you, and so we're so happy to be back to our normal. So although holiday season is still continue, we still have great deals on website. So please pay attention, because since I was shipping last couple days, so I noticed people ordering separate what they are accustomed to order, and they don't go and look bundles. And then I was like, geez, you could save a lot of money on bundles, but so just pay attention, something new in our website. And then of course we do have holiday promotions, and you will see then all our palettes, the oil color palettes, like they all have special deals. And
just again, repeat that right now, all cadmium colors, if you buy
yes.
2 or more, you can get up to 30% off.
Yes. If you buy, I think it's like if you buy 4, so it's 30%, somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, try it.
Go
This
to the
is-
bundles.
yes, bundles, and it will be first bundle
at
there.
the top of the page. Go to the bundles.
So
and you'll
people
see
who
that.
attended today definitely will have
That's
this opportunity.
true from all websites, Canada as well as Europe.
In Canada, you don't have cadmium maroon
Yeah,
yet.
but we'll send
We will
some, yeah.
send it. So and we will prolong that that special deal for Canada and Europe. Thank you very much. Cohorts, see you on December 3rd, 11 o'clock Pacific time morning. And so very exciting. And so then next our AMA we will announce. It probably will be in a couple weeks we will do. And thank you again being with us. Have a great day and see you next time.